Welcome back to Seek First to Understand. We are here with my friend Erica. I know Erica because we used to work together at Keller Williams. We were both admin for a real estate team, and we were friends then, but we actually became much better friends when we stopped working together and we could just go to lunch and sit and talk for hours on end. So I was thinking about it in preparation for this, like where you were at in life when you started working for us. And I feel like both, like, no, your daughter had just started driving, right? So you were kind of in that.
Yeah, she had just started driving.
Okay.
And so basically I had just been fired from my mom job.
Okay. Because your son does that make him a senior? Is that math right?
I think he was already in college. He was in his first year
Okay.
then. And yeah, something happens when they start driving. They no longer need you.
Okay.
Except your wallet. They only need your wallet at
Okay.
that point. Yeah.
Perfect. I'm not there yet, but we'll get there. And we're going to talk a lot about that today. So let's pause that and back up and very openly here, just tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? How did you get to where we got to meet?
Okay. I'm a native Texan.
Woo.
There's
Yay, and
there's fewer of us than you might expect in Texas. And when I was little, we moved up to Maryland, and we lived in Maryland.
What took y'all to Maryland?
I guess my dad's job.
Okay.
And we lived there until I through third grade for me.
Okay.
And then we moved back to Texas. We moved to Richardson because all of my dad's family was here in Texas. My mom's family was in Kansas. So we just didn't know anybody. I mean, they had friends. They were very involved in church. And so that was kind of our family up in Maryland.
Okay.
But we moved back here and to Richardson, and that's where I grew up. Elementary school, middle school, high school, and Richardson.
Okay. And you have two brothers.
I have two
both
brothers.
older.
Both older.
Okay.
Yep. 3 years between all of us.
So that move was at a different time in their life. They probably remember Maryland a little more than you do just based on age.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But you all then, like your brothers both y'all all graduated from the same school?
Yep. We graduated from Berkner
Okay.
High School.
Nice.
I just had my 40th class reunion.
And is that how, like, some people around here that also went to Berkner? Is there a connection there?
What do you mean? Like Keller Williams?
Yeah, I think that there are agents in this office that also graduated from Berkner. We'll have to talk about that another time because there's some people that I'm like, I'm pretty sure they're Berkner too. We'll talk about it.
I would not be surprised.
Okay.
It was a big school.
And so after high school, you did what?
Went to college. I went to UT Dallas.
Okay.
And got a degree in economics and finance. And
That's a big degree.
yeah, it was fun.
I was just talking about my degrees in psychology, and I'm like, what do you do with that? But like business and economics you have to know your stuff.
Yeah, it was fun. And I picked that major because my middle brother started out as a finance major and ended up having to change and like couldn't make the cut. And so I thought,
I will show that I am better than him.
yeah,
Got it. Okay. Let me show you how to do what you couldn't do.
Yes, it's hard to know what you want to do, right? I didn't apply myself when I was in high school. I really was more interested in having fun.
Okay.
And I didn't know who I wanted to be. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I liked math in high school and I was good at it and I didn't have to study for it. So it's like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's try this.
Okay. So you graduate with a big fancy degree.
Yeah,
and then
I graduate. I work corporate America.
In that industry.
Yeah, treasury management primarily. Okay. And it's banking at the corporate level.
Okay.
But not full banking. It's not like paying bills or anything like that. It's managing the cash accounts.
Okay. So still very numbers driven.
Yes, very numbers driven. It was fun. I had some really great mentors when I first got out of college and some good breaks. As far as, well, I wouldn't call it layoffs and stuff like that at a company a break for the people who got laid off, but it did create opportunity for me. So that was good. And the people who got laid off ended up on their feet. So that was also good.
Okay.
Yeah. So then I did that until basically I met my husband And
Tell us how that happened.
okay,
Because I know your husband, but I've never asked how y'all met.
yeah, we met at a bar.
Okay.
And
Same.
Ben's Half Yard. I'm not even sure if it's still there, but it used to be down on Greenville Avenue,
Okay.
and kind of like a sports bar. So I was there playing darts with somebody else, and him and a group of his buddies came in, and they were at the dartboard next to us. And
Again, learning things about you while we do this. Do you still throw darts? Like, is that something you did regularly, or just happened like that was the one night in your whole life you threw darts?
no, I did
Okay.
do it kind of regularly, and I was not bad. I was not great, but I was not bad. And I haven't done it in a long time, and now I am bad.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yes, but it was fun. It's something to do. Yeah.
Okay. So you met him there, and then
We met. We started dating. We got married, and I was like 30 when we got married.
Okay.
So later in life,
Well,
I mean,
again,
maybe
your
not
friends were
now.
already married and doing those things, and yes.
it may not be considered later in life for this generation.
Yes.
right? But for our generation, my generation, it was.
I was 30 when I met James. So
Okay, yeah.
similar that you're like, my friends are married, and some of them already have multiple children, and that you just feel a little
Some of them
behind.
were already divorced.
Oh gosh, yeah, I was telling James the other day, I don't have anybody that I know that's divorced.
Really?
Like that. Isn't that kind of crazy?
That's
Because I have a
right.
lot of friends that got married at 21, 22, 23, and they're all still married.
Yes.
Super rare.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Anyway, so met your husband.
Yeah.
Got married. And
Got pregnant basically right away.
all still in this area. Like you still were in the Richardson, Dallas area.
Where was I living? I think I was living in Plano
Okay.
at the time. No, I was living in Dallas, but I lived in Richardson, I've lived in Frisco, I've lived in Plano, I've lived in Dallas, I lived in Mesquite very briefly.
So all just around this.
Yeah, and I'm in
area.
Allen now, and we've been in Allen for like 25 years now. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know you, because we're friends, and I know that your faith is important to you. Where along the way did you come to know? Because you said you were a little wild in high school.
I was wild
somewhere
in high
along the
school.
way you started your relationship with Christ.
yeah, so when we lived in Maryland, my parents were very, very active in church. I was raised Baptist.
Okay.
And, Baptists kind of have a reputation for being
Sticklers.
serious. And that was very good for me when I was young. And it was a smaller church. I have memories of my dad and my brothers and other men in the church literally building the church.
Oh, wow.
Probably I have those memories because my parents had photos of it because I was pretty young. But we were there. We were there Sunday morning. We were there Sunday night. We were there Wednesday. And Vacation Bible School, I was always there. And one of the things I remember about church is that Sunday night you got to request a song. They would take requests. And so every Sunday night I would raise my hand and request the same song, The Old Rugged Cross.
Okay.
I loved that song.
Classic.
It's kind of, it's a
good
kind of
old
a
hym, though.
bummer of a song,
Mhm.
but I loved it. And there were times when they would not call on me because they knew what I was going to request. But anyways, I was all in for Jesus at a very young age. And then when we moved back to Texas, I think my parents just couldn't find a home, a church home. We tried going for a while, and then they just quit going. And when the parents quit going, the kids don't go. And so that was, I would say, probably very life-altering for me and my brothers.
Because you were about how old when you were 4 when you moved back
I
here,
would say I was in middle school. No, I was in 4th grade.
when they stopped going.
I was just starting 4th grade when we moved back here.
Okay.
So I probably was in middle school, 7th or 8th.
And was there a family conversation around, hey, we're just not going to do this anymore? Or we're just kind of weaned off? And
Yeah,
just
no
didn't-
conversation that
Okay.
I was a part of. that I
I
remember.
Grew up in Church of Christ
Yeah.
here, which is also very like no music and
Yes.
no
yes.
instruments in the church, right? And like very routine. And then we stopped going when we moved. And then when I was in high school, I had a friend be like, hey, come check out my church. And so we went, and it was a big part of my life in high school. So kind of the opposite of you. It was a big part of my life in high school, kind of shaped my thoughts at that point in life when you're trying to figure some things out. And then I went to college and went, wait a minute, I think differently about some of these things now. So so your high school years not involved in a church.
I was not involved in church, and I kind of wish I had been, just because I see people, kids these days who are active in church, high schoolers, and they take a different path than I took.
Okay.
And I'm happy with where my life ended up and where I'm at now, but it was a long road to get here, and I feel like having Christ in my life now gives me a different level of confidence that I didn't have as a youth.
Okay.
That I was lacking as a youth.
I think it gives some kids too just a different community.
Yes.
Right? Like they go to school with these people and maybe they play sports with them or whatever, but then it's kind of a separate, and I'm sure there's some overlap with kids that go to school. Like my church in high school, it had a couple of my friends from school, but a lot of them went to a different school. So it was kind of just a different group to get to run around with instead of seeing the same people all the time.
That's true. I think that's true as well. Yeah.
So when did you come back to the church?
So we got married in March of 2000.
Okay.
And our son was born in April of 2001.
Okay.
Okay. My husband was raised Catholic.
Mine was too, which is
like very
different.
Yeah. From Baptist. And then 9/11 happened.
Oh. And
I was like, oh, can I cuss on here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, oh, shit. We need to be going to church, And something, you probably know this, something happens inside you, or it did for me when I had kids. I had this, I don't know.
How am I bringing a child into this world? Well, I remember having that thought very clearly with Jackson, that I was like, I'm bringing a child into this.
I didn't have that thought so much as, oh my gosh, I need to live my life in a way that sets a better example.
Okay.
And I think 9/11 was really pivotal. And I know that was the case for a lot of people. I've talked to people who 9/11 brought them back into church. And so my husband and I had this agreement. We're like, okay, because we were raised so differently, let's just try a bunch of different churches until we find the one that we both like, and then we'll go there.
Yes.
So as you know, when you have a baby, life is very unpredictable. And I had planned on this particular Sunday for us to attend the Baptist church here in Allen.
Okay.
However, life happened, and I don't exactly remember what, but we were running late because we had a baby.
Yep, that happens often.
And I was kind of freaking out, and my husband said, look, there's a bunch of churches down on Greenville. We called it Church Row. And he said, let's just drive, and if we see people in the parking lot, we'll just pull in. Okay. And that worked. And we ended up there was a Presbyterian church there right next to the Church of Christ, between Church of Christ and the Methodist Church. And it's not there anymore. It's a different church now. And somebody, a longtime member there, saw us in the parking lot, knew that we were new. Maybe we looked lost also. He just kind of swooped in and took us to the nursery and introduced us to a bunch of people. And we didn't try any other churches. We just kept going because it felt comforting.
Okay.
And we loved it. It was an older congregation, which probably helped define who I am now. And I love old people. And that's, that tapped into that love of old people for me. But then at some point, we wanted our kids to be in church with other kids their age. So then we switched to a church that's near where we live. So, yeah.
Okay.
And it's Methodist. We go to Creekwood Methodist.
Which I have visited, and it was a very nice church.
Yes.
So to kind of go back timeline, so you met your husband, got married, had a baby, got back into the church.
Yep.
Were you still working through
I was not
this?
working. No.
Okay.
So I quit working when I had my first baby.
And was that like discussed ahead of time? Because again, I think people sometimes don't talk about what does life look like with kids before they get married and decide to have kids. So did you and John talk about that ahead of time?
So you mean before we got married?
Yeah, before you got married, before you had kids, was it discussed? Like, what will this look like? No, it just kind of happened.
So, okay. So it was kind of a unique situation. It was like, it was a blessing for us. He had started his own business. He writes software. Okay. And so he was writing software and selling it on the side and competing against this particular product. And they approached him and wanted to buy him out and offered him a job. And that happened when I was pregnant.
Okay.
And so I don't remember the exact timing of it, but he was already with that new company, and we already had that buyout when I had our first child.
Okay.
And the only things that we talked about were like, do we sell his software? Do we keep it? If we sell, then I can quit working. If we sell and I keep working, if we don't sell, then I have to keep working because of insurance. There was just a lot of factors, but ultimately he sold it.
He went to work for them.
He went to work for them, got insurance through them, and I quit.
Did your mom work when you were growing up?
Yes.
Okay. I just didn't know if that played in because my mom worked when I was growing up. And I think that was part of the reason I was like, I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom. And then it wasn't the right fit for me. But I didn't know if do you think that played into you being a stay-at-home mom?
I think it played into me being a delinquent in high school.
Okay. Okay.
What do they call those? My generation, they call them the latchkey.
Latchkey kids. My brother and I were latchkey kids.
I mean, I remember I would go home from school. I would let myself in. I would be all alone.
Your brothers weren't there?
No, because they were like in middle school and high school.
Okay. They had their own stuff going on.
I was in elementary, and it's crazy to think.
Yeah, can you imagine letting your kid just?
I know.
It's so weird. And they say it's a different world now, but I'm like, it was a weird world then too.
Yeah, we just didn't know about it. I came out okay, mostly.
But you enjoyed, obviously. So you stayed home through both of your kids until, as you said earlier, you got fired from your mom job. So until your daughter drove, you were a stay-home mom.
Yeah.
Tell me what that looked like.
Yes, I will tell you.
Okay.
Because I have another friend, a neighbor, who would say, what do you do all day?
Which sounds like such an accusatory question. And sometimes it's really not. Like, we really are seeking to understand, like, what does that look like all day?
I was kind of offended. I'm like, well, I just sit around and eat bonbons all day.
People don't know the life they don't lead, right? And so what did that look like for you?
I was volunteering in the schools.
Okay.
I was participating in women's Bible studies that happened during the day. And then at some point, I transitioned into leading a women's Bible study. I was always working out and did different things. And so you have your little pockets of friends. I had my Bible study friends, and I had my workout friends, and I had my other school mom friends.
So you still had a routine.
Yes, I had a routine, and I had to get up every day, and I didn't necessarily have to put on proper attire and makeup.
Depending on where you were going for the day,
right? But yes,
I think that was the hard part. And again, I only did it for like 6 months while my son was a baby, but it was just like there was no routine.
Yeah.
His routine, because he was a baby. So he was on a wake up, a baby routine. But I never found a routine of my own. And that's why I think I've always needed to work, is to get up and get dressed and have somewhere to go or something to accomplish for the day. And you were doing those things, just not in a business setting.
Yes.
So, okay. So then when you got fired, so your son goes off to college, your daughter can now drive, and you are free to do whatever you want.
Yes.
And you came to work with me for a little bit.
Yeah.
How did that, did you go to your husband and say, hey, I think I want to go get a job? Or did he go to you and say, what's it look like? No, you went to him.
Yeah, I went to him. I want something to do. Yeah.
Okay. And he said, cool, do it.
Yeah. Whatever you want to do.
Okay.
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
if you want to.
Okay. Because you've also done other cool stuff. Like at one point you were taking piano lessons, and I know
I'm
that
still doing that.
your youngest took piano.
Yes.
That's what got you into piano?
Yes. For
Okay.
many, many years, she took piano.
Okay.
And at some point when she quit, I thought, oh, crap, I'm really going to miss the sound of classical music in my home. Who knew I liked classical music? And so I started taking lessons.
From her same teacher?
From her same
Okay,
teacher.
that's so cool.
And because my mom, she passed away in 2011, and my piano teacher is older, she has filled that void for me.
Okay.
And sorry.
That's okay.
Gonna
Do you
make me
still
emotional.
take piano?
I do.
Okay.
Every Tuesday.
I love
Yes.
it. Okay.
And I love that connection
with her.
time with
Yes.
her. And she's a godly woman. And so she's a mentor for me and a piano teacher.
Well, and didn't y'all even through COVID, you continued to do piano? Do I remember this right?
We did a little bit online.
Okay.
But yes, I don't even remember. But yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've maintained that relationship. Like the piano is part of it, but the relationship is
Right.
really the
And
connection.
Also, my dad died from dementia. So I needed, I have to grab a tissue here. Because of my dad's dementia, it was really important to me to use my brain
Okay.
and keep it active. And that was one of the reasons. That was another one of the reasons, not just being fired from my mom job, but wanting to use my brain. And I did notice a difference in my memory and stuff like that when I went back.
Well, because
to
at some point too, not that long ago, you started learning another language.
Yes. I take French lessons, but that's like self-taught.
Okay.
And
Just something you've always wanted to do?
yeah, I think French is a beautiful language, and I don't know, why not?
Yeah.
Why not challenge myself? I have the time.
Right. So when you worked with me, it was part-time.
Yep.
And then after that, you still work part-time.
Yes.
But okay, so let's talk about your kids. Your kid learning to drive is one demotion, but then your kid going off to college and being a genuine empty nester, I would assume,
Yes.
is another
It's big.
demotion and promotion at the same time, right?
Yeah.
It's big.
It's big.
So talk to me kind of about what life, because at that point, like you're working a part-time job.
Yep.
I know that you guys travel and you do big, cool, super fun trips, but what does the dynamic look like now that both kids are out of the house and it's quiet in your home?
Yeah, it's very good now. The transition is
Because that was how many years ago? Almost
our
4?
youngest graduated in 2022.
Okay, so 3 and a
So,
half.
Yeah, it's transitioning to empty nesting is not for the faint of heart. I would say that raising kids is hands down the hardest part of a marriage for me,
Okay.
anyways. And part of that, like I was thinking about that as I was driving over here to talk to you. One of the things that we did, and I imagine a lot of parents around here do this, is you get involved in your kids' activities. Like we had a wrestler and we had one who was in marching band and color guard. And so every weekend you have something to
Yep.
do. You're
A tournament or
volunteering.
a, yes.
You're driving around, you're going all over the place. And my husband loves photography.
Oh, didn't know that.
So-
Okay.
Okay. So he volunteered to be the team photographer for the Booster Club.
Okay.
And so for
So you're not just going and spectating, like he's got a job to do while he's there. Yes.
Yes, and that job isn't just for the event. He will take hundreds of pictures and then devote the rest of the weekend and sometimes evenings during the week to weeding out the bad pictures,
Yeah,
editing the
editing,
good ones,
yeah.
putting them up on a site so that everybody can see their kid.
That's so nice that somebody would do that, though. Like, I'm sure all those
Yes.
parents really appreciate that they
Yes.
now have those photos. So that's
But
cool.
in looking back, it was I don't know how to say this. It was hard on our marriage because I never saw my husband. He was always doing photos.
Yeah.
And
Which is probably hard for him too, because he's going, I'm doing something for our kids
that's
to
exactly
support
right.
them.
And that's exactly what he said. And I got that, but I always felt a little like second fiddle, you know? And okay, so fast forward to empty nest and me having some years of feeling not as important as I wanted to feel.
Now you're like, this is my time. Put me in, coach.
Yeah. Or take me out of coach and put me in first class.
Yeah. Or that. Different kind of coach when I got you. Okay.
Yeah. And so it was a transition. And the first couple of weekends, maybe 2 or 3 weekends as empty nesters, I said to my husband, what in the hell are we supposed to do with our time? And he said, anything we want.
Which sounds awesome and daunting at the same time.
It is.
Yep.
It really is, because you're definitely a different person than you were when you met your spouse, right? 20 plus years has passed.
Yeah. Well, and you guys, you dated for how long before you got married?
Not long, about 1.5 years.
And right after you got married, you got pregnant.
Yep, immediately.
So you didn't have that.
Yes, we didn't have that.
Right.
Yeah.
So now's your time, right? To be like, okay, we get to just enjoy each other.
Yes.
But now you've gone through 20 years of life together before you get to slow down and enjoy each other.
Yeah. We had a lot of hard conversations, and it
around what does this look like? What's the expectation? How do we
just how we felt about the past years. How did like one of the things that I shared was how I felt about always coming in second and not feeling like my wishes were honored, but instead my daughters were, and we would kind of disagree on things like that. I would think we should raise the kids this way, we should do this, we shouldn't do that. And he's my husband, so I let him make those decisions ultimately. But I didn't always agree. And now that the kids are gone, we were having those conversations. And also...
Interesting. I just find that interesting to go, hold on, we're at this point in life, but I need to go back and get some things off my chest.
Yeah.
Right? Which good for you, because I think if people hold on to that, then you don't ever get to really move forward.
Yeah, that's right.
But I think that's probably hard to stop and go, can we go back to 3 years ago? Because here's some things that I was feeling, right?
I always used to say, I want to travel. And the answer always was, when I retire, we can travel. And finally, when the kids were gone, I said, I'm going to travel.
You're welcome
you can
to
come
join
with me if you want or not. But this is my life too, and I'm tired of putting it on hold. I quit my job to raise our family, and I want to live my life. I don't want to wait until I'm almost dead. And also, one of the things that was going on is friends who were also empty nesters were seeing them get divorces. And I think it's pretty common.
I want to pause and go back to just, again, how my brain processes. So your parents still lived in Richardson while your kids were little. Like they were still local. Did you were they involved grandparents? Did you get date nights and stuff like that because they were local?
Yeah, a few. But my mom passed away when our baby was in first grade.
Okay.
So no, not really.
Yeah.
As for a few years, but
I think that's hard too.
Yeah.
I'm blessed that my family's close. James's family's close. My brother, like this past weekend, my brother took both kids. And so we're like, cool. Like we get a sporadic date night, right?
Yeah.
And even though like we just grabbed dinner somewhere and we actually end up running into friends and had dinner with them, but it's still just nice to get that time together. And so I think, and yes, you can hire a babysitter to go out, but then it gets real expensive.
It does get expensive.
Right? Mm-hmm. So that's where I was trying to figure out, were you getting date nights all throughout, but you really weren't. So it is just the handoff and the kids and the life and the blah, blah, blah. And now it all comes to a screeching halt.
Yeah. And we really did not prioritize our marriage like we should have.
So now you have.
Now we have.
And you've gone through some tough moments with that.
Yeah.
but you're still raising kids. I mean, I feel like once you have kids, you're raising them for the rest of your life. The relationship changes,
Yes.
which again, I'm not there. Mine are 9 and 12. I got some years to go. Advice that you would have for someone like me or someone who's in the thick of it right now, or that's staring down the barrel? Because I have some friends that their oldest is about to graduate. Their youngest is about to get a driver's license. Advice for people in any of those situations.
I would say have the conversations. It sucks. It's hard. Be honest and don't get defensive. Take it. That's the hard part, is not getting defensive. But you don't have any growth. There's no opportunity to move forward if you're defensive. You have to hear and then own your own peace.
Yeah. So do you feel like your marriage is at its best right now?
Yes, it's better than it's ever been. It's better than it was when we were dating. It's certainly better than it was when our kids were at home. It's great. It's good.
You still have, again, because I know you still have moments where how you're handling one child you may not agree on.
Yes.
But now you're having the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as the phone call ends or as soon as the interaction ends, you go, hey, can we?
Yeah.
Yeah. And is it both of you that will prompt that conversation? Like either one of you can come to the other now and go, can we talk about how that went down?
Yeah. Yes. And we will say to each other, I need this to feel supported.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a good statement.
Yeah. It's hard, but ultimately.
Did you, at this point or any point in your marriage, go to counseling? Through the church or outside or no?
We dabbled in it, but nothing that we really felt was beneficial.
Okay. I'm just wondering where, like, you got, like, I feel like we pick up nuggets along the way, right?
Sure, yeah.
So the statement that you just made of, I need blank to feel supported, that sounds like something a counselor. So I'm like, where'd you pick that up? It just came one day and
just
fit.
Life. Like,
okay.
Yeah, when something would happen, I would say, I didn't feel like you had my back in that situation, or vice versa. He didn't feel like I had his back. And yeah, you just have to be honest about it.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of decisions that get made on a daily basis as a parent, as a spouse.
Yes.
And so sometimes you don't stop and reflect on those decisions, right? And so it's good, and it's probably, as you've said, like better to just, let's do this now. Here's how I'm feeling, than to let it simmer for, it sounds like you let something simmer for years.
For sure. Yes, I did. 100%. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to cover? I feel like we've done, like we covered some good stuff here.
Yeah.
Any other, like I said, advice for marriages or people raising kids or anything there?
Just don't give up.
Okay.
If you love the person, you can find your way back to that, as long as both parties want that and are honest and are willing to own their own shit.
Yeah.
And change.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Not that I have a lot of advice for parenting, but my advice that I would give to anybody on anything is, if you see someone doing a good job, tell them, because we all need to hear it. I remember being at the grocery store one day, and it was a dad, and he was there with 4 kids, and they were so well behaved, right? And like, they've got their hand on the cart and they're walking along with them, and one's in the thing. And I just told him, like, hey, you're doing a great job. Like, your kids are super well behaved. And maybe 5 minutes ago they weren't, and I didn't get to see that, but in that moment they were. And I think as a parent, we need to hear that. And even today I got a text, Maddie ran scones over this morning to the neighbor, and he was like, she's always such a pleasure to see. Your kids are great. And I'm like, you don't live with them, so you don't really, but it's still just encouraging to hear that. Like, we're at least doing enough right that they can be great in front of someone else. Yeah. So
I would say one other thing.
Sure.
It's a process of learning. You're not going to get it right every time. So we still have times where we don't always say the right thing. And, but we're learning with our kids to respond differently. So instead of, oh yeah, I think that'll be okay, the answer is, well, we haven't talked about that yet. We'll get back to you.
Okay.
Instead of one person answering or both.
Yep.
But it's a process, because it doesn't come natural. when you've had years of just answering your kids, you've got to kind of flip that switch to change your mindset.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna discuss that with someone else before I give you an answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Okay. I like to end on the open the gate. So we're not gatekeepers here. And I always like to know what people are trying that I need to try.
Okay.
So tell me what you're going to tell the people that you love that's awesome.
Okay. Well, the one product that I love, it's kind of a brand, is Quince. And they're online.
Okay.
Quince.
Okay.
They do cashmere.
Ooh.
They do silk.
Fancy. Okay.
They have, oh my gosh, I've bought so much from them.
So it's an online store.
It's an online store.
Okay. It's not like the rent or whatever. They don't send you a monthly box. You go on and shop.
You go on and shop.
Okay.
I think they used to just be clothing, but now they're doing home goods and jewelry, and I don't know. I haven't tried any of that stuff.
And it's what I'm hearing is it's quality products.
Yes, it's quality. There's no middleman, so it's cheaper. I do like the quality. They have a great return policy. If you don't like something, I've bought pants and cashmere and silk and even a down puffer from them. So all kinds of stuff. And I love them. And everything has been good.
Okay. See, I love that because I've never heard of them. Yeah, so I'm like, okay, now I have to go look.
What else do they have? They have T-shirts. They have everything.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll have to go give it a try. Mine for this week, and I don't know if you'll be able to see this. It's 3 ships. It's what's crazy though is I don't know how great the product is. I like it, but I love the applicator. Like it's just cold when you rub it on your eyes. So it's an eye cream, but I love the applicator. I think it must be either way. I haven't bought anything else from them, and it actually came in like a subscription box, right? That I got, and it was just a sample product, but I will buy this again because it feels so good going on.
I wonder if you can get it at I
don't know. Like I said, I haven't had to buy it yet because it came in a sample box. Anyway.
Nice.
Okay. So that's it for us. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next week.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.